Robert Schultz recently published a book that has been a long time coming. The book is called Tulsa's Gate, and here's why he wrote it.
I had seen a couple of movies that dealt with fantasy, sword fighting, and stuff like that, and that kind of got bowling around in my head, and a couple of other things from my youth that kind of started mixing into it. And at the time, I was in love with a girl that I wanted to impress, and so I put her in the story, and she's still in it, and she's still a central character. I mean, this is her. And so those factors together is what inspired me to write it.
He then goes on to explain what the book is about.
Tulsa's Gate is about a World War II B-25 bomber that goes down in a freak storm in the Teton Mountains back in 1945. The first part of the book follows the pilot who marries this woman. He takes her, continues on with what he's doing, and takes her with him. And they have a child. It's an only child, and her name is Katrina. At 10 years old, her dad comes home from the war and brings the airplane home with him. And because he's a war hero, they decide that they're going to have a tour, if you will, where he flies the airplane to different cities and shows it off. And he gets to take his daughter with him. And they go on this tour, and that's when they crash in the mountains. And so then it jumps to the present day, and that same airplane suddenly appears on satellite photos. And a salvage company that's based out of Driggs over there in the basin gains the salvage rights to it and goes up to try and rescue it or pull it back out. And come to find out, they step through an interdimensional portal that takes them to another planet on the other side of the galaxy.
So that he wouldn't give the whole book away, we talked about some other interesting activities he enjoys doing.
Actually, in 2008, I had always had this want and will to do a marathon. And so in 2009, I tried it, and darn near drowned during the swim. Was the last one out of the water. In fact, I was the last one to finish the whole race, but I finished it. You have got to want it in order to put yourself through that. Because you say, well, I can swim that far, I can do it. Well, you probably can. And I can ride my bicycle that far. Well, you probably can do that too. And I can run a marathon, I've done that before. I'm sure that you have. But to put them all together, and you have to be within a certain time frame in order to get it done, that's something entirely different. And it takes you places, both physically, or not both, but physically, spiritually, and mentally, that you have never been before. Again, it's difficult to put into words, but the euphoria afterwards of the accomplishment is just, it's similar to writing a book. For me anyway. It's astounding. And it's almost like a drug. And you got to do it again, and you got to go do it again, you got to go do it again.
As for Robert Schultz, we hope to see him write more amazing books and compete in other marathons. Reporting from BYU-Idaho, I'm Kylie Benish, Upper Valley, Idaho.